Okay, well, after a bit of a what the heck was that moment, the stream is back up. We're playing John Wick. Back from TPF. Excited to be in the chat. The game is just about to get its 1.0 code update. This is going to be huge for John Wick. 1.0, the final polish, as they say. It's so good to hear that song again.
Flashing lights and a silver ball. The room's alive. We've got it all. Till the game, but don't you
We'll fix that browser scene after. Oh my goodness, I've been away from the wheel for a while. So, back in the yard, back in the basement here, ready to play some pinball for everyone. Some people I saw at the show at TPF. It was really nice to say hello. What's up? What's up, my friends? Johnny Button and DDoSed, you are first. And I will say, I'm happy to be back. Very, very, very happy to be back. I had a 7-day trip. I went to TPF, but I took the scenic route. As some of you know, I flew into Houston to hang out with Henry, who is at Dustin Echoes Pinball, one of our friends of the stream. He's starting to do live streaming too, so follow at Dustin Echoes with an E in the middle, Pinball. And anyway, so had a good time hanging out with him. It was cool. So we went to his house. He had some streaming rig stuff. We hadn't planned on building it, but we assembled the metal, and then when we were at TPF, we ordered all the parts we needed to finish the job and came back and we did it live. So anyways, good human being. I had an amazing time there. And yes, DDoSed. I bought probably 5 t-shirts and I bought some pin sound stuff And I bought some precision flippers. What else? Yeah, I'm really excited to put the pin sound stuff in though. My plan is to get one big subwoofer and put both of my music pins on it. That's my initial plan, but we'll see, you know, how that goes. But mainly what I was doing at TPF was just taking it all in. And I did quite a few interviews of the vendors, the manufacturers. So those are going to start trickling out on YouTube. And so they are, most of them are published. I did around 20 separate interviews, and I've been spending hours upon hours editing them. And so they're initially coming out on YouTube, and yeah, so some are there, but yeah, like I figured I would just get, using pin sound, I would get one subwoofer and just to try it out, make it like the music corner, you know? Yes, Silver Ion, welcome back to the stream too. It is great to be back. It wasn't bad to be away, but I really missed my morning interaction with the live stream watchers and stuff. Did I bring you back a t-shirt? I bought some shirts there. I got a few shirts handed to me too, which was also nice. I feel like what I should do, my hack for the next time I go to a show, if someone wants to give me a shirt, I have to make sure it's like a 3XL or 2XL that's, you know, made for Americans and Canadian size people, which some are slightly bigger. But anyways, Slinger, what's up? Welcome back. I am also just doing the code update. This last section I thought would be done by now, but John Wick today is going to be at 1.0 code. Yeah, Slinger, I didn't get the, I guess, I didn't hear it directly from Jeff, but I heard he brought back some sort of like feline aids or, you know, con crud as we call it, which, you know, is if you are in these like lineups, and the thing is with pinball, everyone's touching the machines. So everyone's touching the machines, you know, licking their fingers, eating snacks. And the one thing, what was the last expo? One of the last expos, I think it was Houston. Houston had hand sanitizer everywhere. Very smart. You know, I hope they, because you can just rent like a pallet of like a dozen hand sanitizers, and you know, I hope that's in the feedback in the survey for all these shows. But and holy crap, congrats, Johnny Button is on a 110 stream streak. Thanks, John. But yeah, while we're waiting for this is just going to edge into an update any minute here. But what's up, Russ? So I am here to play some John Wick today, but I'm also here, game code update, primary, what's it say? Success. It's going to make the sound. But yeah, I just want to interact in the chat. If you guys have any questions about TPF or anything, you know, I did live stream 3 separate times at TPF. There's the sound it does. I live streamed 3 times at TPF, and one of them, I think the last one was the one I spent the most time lurking at Yukon Yeti. So check out my YouTube if you're wanting to, or my VODs on Twitch. If you want to see what TPF was really like, I put out a lot of content, and I still have at least 12 full videos to publish from my trip there. So a bunch of them are published, and they're scheduled to release in the next week or so. But if you're a member on YouTube, you can see them all right away. If that is a thing, you are. Some of you are members. Anyways, we're going streaking. That's right. Update board runtime. Okay, so it's updating some node boards. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So what happened when I was gone? Was there any other streams doing anything interesting?
This is Wick. Yes, John Wick, that's right. You stabbed the devil in the back and forced him back into the life.
Dustin Echoes is here. So Dustin Echoes 11, who we all know, has a new Twitch account, and so it's at Dustin Echoes Pinball. If you have time, search for it on Twitch and YouTube, and check out at Dustin Echoes. Oh, yeah. You can always get a yeah. At Dustin Echoes Pinball, a friend of the live stream channel, one of the first. I have had a few other applicants for the Pinball Live network, so we're slowly curating that group of people. Yeah, at Dustin Echoes Pinball. And so yeah, check it out. I think the rig was on Jaws yesterday, but it is a movable thing, so. Anyways, I'm gonna start playing some pinball too. Oh, we met a follower goal. There we go. Until something, it should have done an alert. I don't know what's going on here.
EcoPlayer1 is our newest follower. Welcome to the grown-up adjacent community. EcoPlayer1.
There she
Dustin
is.
Echoes 11 subscribed to the channel for 8 months.
There we go. Awesome. I appreciate all the subs and such, guys. I really do.
Well played.
So, John Wick, the code update.
Down the road.
I don't particularly remember what was involved in this code update, but oops. There goes ball one, whatever. Doc Imagineer, if you love Hot Wheels and you love the theme in the game, I wouldn't talk you out of it, but there's so much coming out this year. I don't know. The Hot Wheels would have to be like $2,000.
The Ruscaroma play a dangerous game. Look sharp.
And, you know, disclaimer, the Hot Wheels I had played recently was pretty worn out. Hellraiser in the house. What's up? I would say this game so far is mid, but it's even lower than mid.
Your aim was impeccable.
Too excited to be back live streaming, guys. Too excited to be back in the chat. So if you got 2 notifications today,
Hellraiser 666 subscribed to the channel for 3 months.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hellraiser. So something on my streaming rig, right after I went live today, I touched the streaming rig and like, I guess there was static or something. And all my cameras went dead. And then one of them didn't come back. And when it does that, I have to restart the computer and re-handshake the HDMI. It's like a process. So I got to figure out why that's happening, because I don't want to be zapping cards or anything, or cameras. Oh, snipe into the administration for the extra volley. Man, why couldn't ball 1 and 2 have been?
For a man to pocket to another, find a soul for both.
Hellraiser, it just updated about 30 seconds ago, and I'm not sure. Awesome. Also, Johnny Button, thank you for the bits. The bits, my friend. I appreciate it. We got a hype train going as well. If you're not a sub or you need to resub. Also, I think subs are on sale right now, 35% off. Have to overshill them, but
Lucky, but maybe not so lucky next time.
okay, that was the warm-up game of all warm-up games. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about my trip. So the first couple days stayed at Dustin Echo's Pinball house. Or no, I stayed in the hotel the first night because it was booked already. But the first couple nights before we drove on our cross-country pinball road trip to TPF, so Henry's like, you know, I've got the parts for a stream rig that I don't know if you know. Do you want to put it together? And I'll say my first mistake was saying absolutely. But no, I'm not. It wasn't a mistake, but like some parts were missing. So the process was we were building the parts that had no instructions, and we were back and forth from a Lowe's, like I think 2 or 3 times. And like this particular Lowe's like did not have stock of all the little specialty screws and parts and stuff. So we pieced things together. Anyways, we got it to stand tall, and kind of dry mounted some metal to it. And anyways, and then we were like, okay, well, we need to order this. It'll be there when we get back from TPF. So the procedure was we ordered a bunch of things and then came and kind of like plugged stuff together. Like, okay, well, we need this type of data cable, HDMI and XLR cable. And anyways, long story short, we got the rig assembled when we got back to Houston, and we actually did a couple live streams. So Henry's first live stream with a friend last night, he had a guest over. So anyways, I want to provide that hype. So also, I've talked about it a little bit already, but the pinballive.com and the Pinball Live network, its whole goal is to kind of do this, not like, you know, me come to your house and set up your stream rig, but the idea is to make there be an all-in-one spot where smaller to medium-sized live streamers kind of like collaborate and share knowledge. Because the process to set up a streaming rig, there's so many little roadblocks. I'm wanting to share the knowledge I've accumulated and put it all in one spot. So we're going to figure out one way to do that. But and also the group of live streamers, you know, you'll see who we are. We'll have the Pinball Live Network logo on the stream, which is cool too. It's nice to be a part of a thing. And also the goal, another part of the goal was so that like if you're at work or something, you can just go to the pinballive.com website and just see which one of us is live. So you'll see. And so anyways, it's still in its kind of infancy. But stay tuned for that. Anyways. It's pretty cool to come back. We're on a hype train already. So hop on the hype train if you are wanting some new emotes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hope this game now is a little bit better than the last. But I know Dustin Echoes. Well, message me, and if you have any issues. But we also are you asking me, Russ? Yeah, so Russ, a couple machines will be leaving. Okay, I'm going to tell you, we had an interesting conversation last night. So I kind of decided that Funhouse has run its course. I played it. I had about 2 months of issues updating it. So it is finally updated. Their support was okay, but it took a long time to get that card sent from Europe. But nonetheless, Pedretti Funhouse is updated. I had some fun streaming it and stuff, but it's growing. We had an interesting conversation last night. So we're going to bed. My daughter, I don't know if she read it in the chat or heard me talk about it. She's like, so is Galactic Tank Force leaving? And I was like, well, I don't own that game. It's a loaner from the distributor. And yeah, I think GTF is leaving. Here's what she said. She's like, well, it's my favorite game. She's 12 and she doesn't play a lot of pinball, but when she does, she gravitates towards Galactic Tank Force. So anyways, she says, she's like, well, what if I buy it? And I was like she likes Galactic Tank Force enough that she's like, well, what if I buy it? And anyways, I don't think she's going to buy it, but it was very interesting. Like, we're all probably similar ages, like, midlife crisis pinball buyers and players. But yeah, no, she's 12. She does have some savings. Like, we have a pot machine at work, and so she helps load it and she shares the profits of the pot machine. But anyways, yeah, she was willing to commit to purchase Galactic Tank Force. So for all of us opinions and perspectives out there, I think it's important that we remember there are other opinions and perspectives that, like, her perspectives, she plays that game because it's goofy and fun, and the shots and layout aren't a priority for her. She just wants to enjoy playing the game. I thought this was interesting because, that's a point of view that a lot of us, we're either a home collector, a casual arcade player, or a tournament player. And those three buckets of individuals, like, you'll look at GTF, and then there's those that are heavily influenced by the pinball critic echo chamber, the podcasts that have to pick apart every game to make themselves sound good. So there's that. And I think, like, hearing my daughter say, I'll buy Galactic Tank. I was shocked. I'm like, it was more one of those moments where you're like, that is very interesting, because from her point of view, she looks at pinball through a very different lens than myself or the podcaster trying to, shill subscriptions. Like, hot takes are one thing, but actual, like, user experience, I think we got to remember they vary. And for me, here's another point of view from myself standing behind these 3 or 4 cameras. The viewers still really like to watch Galactic Tank Force. Like, they do. I'm sorry, the numbers are excellent when I stream GTF. So explain that, GTF haters. There are some things about GTF that I would be critical of. The tank itself, mine has issues with the switches because they've been hammered so much. It probably has 1,000 games on it. And so that's something that is kind of sucky, because I'll hit it dead center and it won't register. But again, these are setup and adjustment issues. Every once in a while, I'll bend the switches and it'll work better again. Sidebar, American Pinball is releasing some upgrades and a remaster of Galactic Tank Force. So that is coming. They're releasing some newly designed sculpts and stuff for American Pinball that we should be able to buy as a kit or an upgrade or like a update. And they will be re-releasing that game, much like they did with Houdini. So Houdini has had a reskin, a like Call of Duty reskin. So it looks pretty cool too. So I know. So DDoS said it absolutely accurately. Yeah. As a parent, like I didn't want to say, well, you know, you might not like that game forever, but no, it was like what she had to tell me before bed. She's like, you know, we're not getting rid of GTF, are we? So yeah, I am in a position. The thing is though, in the event I did keep Galactic Tank Force for a long time, I would want to buy a brand new one. And I'd want the one that has the upgraded. So American Pinball is releasing a Galactic Tank Force with an upgraded tank and other mechs. Like they're getting the sculpts redone. And I would want that one. Just because, you know, I don't know why. Maybe I'm being a snob, but. Yeah, so Slinger, what I've been told at TPF by Rob, I did an interview at American Pinball. You should check it out. It's on my YouTube with Rob from Rob Rath, who is now a full-timer at American Pinball. And he talked about the Houdini, the American Pinball's remaster of Galactic Tank Force that's coming. So check out that interview I did. And yeah, I mean, another like hot take from, not a hot take, but like a vibe from TPF is that, yeah, American Pinball is going through like a remaster. So, well, yeah, Slinger, like talking about the, play some pinball also, but I love talking to you guys.
You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond.
For me, the thing that
I'll find something
takes away in GTF is kind of like the few generations old 3D printed sculpts. Like the artwork is gorgeous, the lighting is gorgeous. There's no game that has as many video assets and callouts in my entire collection as GTF. But the 3D sculpts kind of lower the bar because you're staring right at it and it's like kind of not great. So I'm glad they are reflecting on that and getting those done properly somewhere, right? Anyways, let's play some of this.
I am impressed.
Yeah, Slinger, and I got a bunch more of them coming. I really enjoyed doing those interviews at the shows, especially with the vendors, but especially with the vendors and manufacturer people where possible.
If you need help, yet you'll be bound by obligation. You know better than to underestimate the Ruscaroma.
Well, yeah, Slinger, and plus there's some new modes with a lot of the 3D printers, like ironing, which will just kind of like use the hot tip to smooth out. Like the technology's come a long way in the last 4 years for 3D prints, so. Yeah, folks, I can't tell you enough. It feels so nice to be back on the live stream, seeing the chat roll, and I got to get my scenes. I had some issue with one of my scenes, so I'm slowly upgrading the whole live stream for when Twitch allows 2.5 or 4K. So not all my scenes are upgraded, but
The Continental appreciates your accuracy.
oh, saw that coming from a mile.
Second test awarded.
So, talking about a few other people I talked to, the people from Precision Flippers, a lot of you know what that is, but I'm going to be installing a set on my Godzilla 70th to take them for a real spin myself. Dustin Echoes Pinball has them on, I think, 3 or 4 of his machines, and ball save.
You dishonor the marquee, you die. You kill the holder of the
And I know
marquee, you die.
DDoS has them as well, but I finally got a set. So I really wanted to visit the Titan Rubbers booth, or the Titan booth.
Ball 2.
Their setup at the show was very weird. I mean, for reasons, they had like a closed tent that was dark, and like, I guess, I don't know why they had that. Maybe to show some glow in the dark rings or something, but yeah, like every time I approached, it was like very unapproachable. Like when you walk up, like no one says hi. But anyways, I kind of ran out of time to see everybody and talk to them, but Titan Pinball, I really wanted to have a chance to do an interview there, so I'll get them at the next show. But so I have questions about that product. But
I am impressed.
there we go. Oh, reach out! Oh! So Silver Ion, yeah, so other comments on Precision Flippers, that's why I really want to take them for a spin myself, because supposedly like a drop catch and a live catch feel a little bit simpler. Like you have to be a little more a little bit different, so you have to be a little bit more precise. But I really want to experience them for myself for like a long period of time. So I am going to install them on Godzilla first and see how it goes. Oh, so Silver Ion, so you just had like a negative experience with the Precision Flippers? What felt different? I'd love to hear about it.
Your aim was impeccable, Jonathan.
Oh, I meant to catch that on there.
Contract extended.
Yeah, so talking about the slop, like for some reason my Foo Fighters has like excessive slop in the flippers, and I'm hoping to do, if I like it on Godzilla, it may end up on other machines, but yeah, I think a true product review is when you've put a lot of time on it. I played probably 10 games on Precision Flippers at Henry's, and I liked them, but they do feel somewhat different. Like if you look at the flippers through a high-speed camera, there's actually a huge amount of flex in the flippers, but also the rubber is flying around. Like you don't see it to the human eye, but before we install them on everything here, I'm going to be trialing it on Godzilla because that's one of my favorite games and one that I have the most hours on.
Let's get you a weapon.
Extra ball is rolling.
Look at the map.
Extra ball.
There we go.
Ball 3 locked.
Si vis pacem, Arabella.
So yeah, de-dosed. Well, Beetlejuice is coming next week. So I have room for it, even if I don't let anything go, but I'm sending Funhouse back. And, I don't know, we'll see. There's a couple other possibles. Fuck. Let's let it go. And so sorry, Russ, are you talking about precision flippers on your Walking Dead? Or are you talking about the bushings? The like improved bushings? Well, yeah, the first machine I'm going to install the precision flippers on will be Godzilla, but I'm definitely hoping to, I mean, pending the experience is positive. I would do all the machines eventually, but I did notice going from, you know, standard flippers to the precision, it's like going from a Stern machine to a Jersey Jack. Like there's something different, and it takes about 2 games to get it. Absolutely. But yeah, they do feel different, like So Brian said, for sure.
The Continental appreciates your accuracy.
Oof. Oh my God.
Extra ball awarded.
Yeah, so I wonder what they did different, right, Silverad? Like, what was different in Potter? And if it is better, they should offer it as an upgrade to, like, their other machines, I would say.
An eye for an eye, John. You know how it goes.
And yeah, so Silverand, a lot of times too, like when a game is like put on the line again, it doesn't mean they've used whatever's their current new technology. So an example of that is, like I recently bought Jurassic Park, and it was just made, but it still has the old power supply and stuff, which is kind of like, I don't know, kind of annoying because you know they've got a better one. So why don't they use the better one, right? Shadowtronics. What's up, my friend?
Delivery has been issued.
Smart might say, but its consequences.
I love that sound. When you rip the spinners. Oh! So the Jurassic Park I just got, it does have a code reader. There we go. BC new. Extra Bally. Oof. And I miss playing pinball at home, I'll be honest. Played quite a few games at that show, but something like being back in your own cave. Also, I noticed Busta Chops at Busta Underbar Chops with a Z is also doing live streaming now, so give them a follow.
Very cool.
That's cool, Shadowtronics.
You want a wall or just another ball?
Ball 3.
I am impressed.
The bodies he buried that day laid a foundation on where we are now.
No, I was gonna say no worries, Busta Chops. We'll. I'm sure we'll have opportunities to raid both ways.
Shout out to Busta_Chops.
Shoot again. Your aim was impeccable, Jonathan.
So another 2 things to look forward to that I'm publishing on YouTube in the next week or so. I interviewed 2 companies. One of them you guys may have heard of, Scorebit, and then another one was Warped Pinball. They both have a insider connected adjacent product. So both of those companies, Warped Pinball and Scorebit, you can have digital leaderboards on your older machines and your modern machines. So I did an interview with both of those companies. I was going to release them both at the same time, but we'll see.
I have no choice but to declare you excommunicado.
And I love this game. Oh, when it shoots, it shoots. See, talking about, like Silverine was talking about how flippers feel, and you get so used to how they feel. This would be a game where I'd be like, if I change out to precision flippers, if I changed out to precision flippers, would I still have the groove? Well, Godzilla will be the first test. I'm going to do a deep dive on the install in that and share it with you guys. But
Cool.
Okay, game. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Take 30 seconds here. Just check my work messages. Okay, well, I'm back. This next game, I'm going to be playing a little bit more John Wick. We've been talking a little bit about TPF. So I'll talk just for a second about, I didn't share a lot of my thoughts on the Yukon Yeti game. So unfortunately at shows like this, where there's a 40-person lineup and a game that's set long playing, it's hard to get a real, like, I would say heavily valid opinion on something playing it like that. But I'll tell you what I did like. I really liked how it looked. I liked the ambition about the ramp, and it had a really cool like avalanche multi-ball where the ball kind of crawled up the mountain. I thought that was kind of cool. And we were able to activate it. I was playing with Ralph and Jamie. We were able to get it to do the 3-ball multi-ball a few times, which was neat. One thing about any early reviews you hear about Yukon Yeti, the code is very early, like template early, and the sounds are like very, very early. So if you see any videos, just know that it was like made just in time for the show. I don't want to say they're prototypes because no one said that word, but the code was extremely early. The sound was extremely early, and I think they're going to bring it to a higher level. I would say I think it's a good looking game from a distance. Everything like that is interesting. It has kind of a cool upper playfield. One thing that's unique is there's a pop nest or a couple pops that are like hidden. So if you shoot the ball in there, you kind of have no idea if it's going to fly back at you. That was probably my most memorable pinball moment playing Yukon Yeti. Like I shoot a ball into like the darkness and it just flies back at you. It's kind of like abrupt. But what else? Kind of the campy theme about being like whitewater adjacent. Like truly, if they leaned into it like American Pinball did with all their in Galactic Tank Force, like made it fun and funny, and they really dedicated resources to the video and the sounds. I really hope they do that because, you know, the Yeti could be like a really active character, but think about the resources required to animate audio. They got the game. The shots and layout are pretty cool. And the shots, layouts, and features of Yukon Yeti are pretty cool. What's missing right now, because it's early, is code, sounds, and how things interact. Like it was very early. So I don't know. I'd like to see how that progresses, but what else? Oh yeah, you guys have probably also heard about Hexa. So I had a scheduled time slot to go with Hexa and like cover the release of their new game. And when I arrived at the show, I'm like, wow, they got a huge booth, a wide booth at Hexa, and there's no game. And so I talked to Alice, is one of their marketing people there, and the owner, CEO as well. And so at Hexa's booth, they were supposed to have Space Hunt and 3 Musketeers. So both of the games were stuck at customs. And it was stuck in like a customs holding area. So they weren't even able to drive to Memphis or wherever it was and get the games to bring them. It was just really disappointing because you think how much time it took to fly their like 4 or 5 people from France, their booth costs, the cost to ship those games that never arrived. Like I really feel for Hexa, they committed to bring it. That is assuming it was ready, and that is all, you know, the story, but that was what, you know, they told us. I believe they were genuine. But yeah, it's too bad that Hexa wasn't able to get 3 Musketeers, because I really look forward to those like opportunities to try out a game at launch, because it is kind of cool to come and be like, I got to touch it early, but also like how much resources do the companies put into a game before they release it, because that is something that varies up from manufacturer to manufacturer. It's not talked about a lot, but it takes a lot of resources to get the animations, the sounds, the shots and layout, the technical, the power supplies and all that to do it they're supposed to. So when a game is launched and released, in my opinion, it should be pretty ready, like at least 0.85 code, and it should kind of play through a few modes with 4 players. So it's interesting to see that it does vary from company to company. Yeah, I did feel bad for them too, Slinger, but just catching up in the chat. Chat's rolling. Lots of people here today. I feel so good to come back and see, I just decided, I told my daughter last night, you got one thing in the morning, I need help moving the rig. Because these 3 machines, the other ones, I put the audio and video to come out the coin door. I 3D printed some stuff. But these ones, I still got to crawl underneath. So anyways, we're on Wick today. But yeah, Irish Luck said, I hope Chris Turner gets Jeff from Dirty Pool Pinball to do the sound. Yeah, like the sound was okay, but it's not an experience. And Jeff is an artist. And not only, so, okay, there's like, all right, I went to sound design school. I did this for video games, but Jeff is a pinball player first and foremost, pinball player, streamer. So he knows like what should be in a game for those experiences. And so I played Dune with the latest sound recently. It was obvious that he brought that secret sauce to the table at, Barrels of Fun for Dune. So I wouldn't be surprised if he really, really brings Labyrinth up into that echelon. And it would be very cool if Jeff becomes that guy that comes in and he's like the Keith Elwin of sound. Could you imagine? I mean, I'm excited for Jeff. I really like Jeff as a human being. I think he's a sincere, real person. What you see is what you get, knowledgeable, So anyways, I really like the guy, and a good little team there. Jeff and Sid are a couple cool individuals. It's nice to see them. I saw them at the show, hung out with them a little bit and quite a bit. And so yeah, also I want to say hi to Mr. J. Crane. Came up to me and said hi a few times. It was really nice. So shout out to Mr. J. Crane. And it's nice to see you in the chat as always. But yeah, and so Jeff from Dirty Pool had a sound booth set up. You guys might have heard about this already, but Jeff from Dirty Pool was there in the Marco section. And so his contribution to the homebrew community is Jeff was allowing people to come up and record call outs for the homebrew community, like extra bully and stuff. And so when I went over there, my voice was raspy and like dry. So I was like, oh, I'll come back later. And I never did. But anyways, supposedly he had 60 different people read through the script. So it's those little like extra cost him nothing. Well, maybe it doesn't cost, might cost him something, but those contribution to the community are very rad. That's why I always am like, what else can I do for the community? What do I know about this? Well, that's what I'm trying to bring to the Pinball Live network. Make people, not be so scared to live stream from their house or on location too. But more will come with that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Pinballlive.com. It's coming. More's coming. But just looking up in the chat. And yeah, so I also heard that Jeff got the con crud. I hope that's temporary because there was some. And Jeff is also smart enough. I think he wears a mask on the airplane too. I think I saw that photo in the past. It's just sometimes it's unavoidable, man. So many people, especially if you're doing the tournament room. I'm going to talk about the tournament room. So the tournament room at TPF was. Well, there was at least, I want to say 30 machines in there, but at least like 50 people at any given time in a about a 20 by 80 room, and it was a sauna of like sweat and body scents. I don't want to say BO because that implies anything about it was just a confined space, and the air conditioning either broke or was like not sufficient. And so I feel for the streamer carpool. Shout out to Carpool Pinball too. I talk to them quite a bit too. They've got a cool setup how they do live streaming. So anyways, maybe I'll be taking some ideas and from them too. But yeah, you is right, 100%. Irish Luck. That's first I heard he was in the hospital. I hope he is okay, and I hope it is temporary. One thing too, like when you think about it, with these conventions, it's probably one of the only downsides, because you want to talk nonstop. You see friends, you see the vendors, you see the designers, and you're talking at a really high volume. Okay, I want to say this too. So all of my videos I produced on my YouTube channel from the show, it sounds like I'm yelling because I am. The microphones have noise canceling, and then I had to strip the audio down so you could hear what we were saying. So if you're like, I'm like, all right, so Chris, will you tell us a little bit about the it's because it was so loud in there. And this show was even better than Expo, was even louder because of the concrete floors. But anyway, so if you hear my audio, I'm going to do whatever I can for the next show to make it a little bit better. I might have people hold the microphone close, but shout out to Jay Biscuity. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. So Mr. Jay Crane 3 years ago got COVID from TPF. Yeah, I still keep my COVID test kits. I get them free from work. So I like, anytime I'm sick, I'm like, all right, I take a COVID test, because I'm like, if I'm COVID positive, I get to miss work for like 5 days automatically, no matter what. So I'm like, all right, free vacation. But yeah. So Mr. J Crane, that's what my wife, were watching one of the videos last night. She's like, yeah, just some feedback about your voice. You sound like you're screaming. I'm like, and so with the Chris Turner interview, he wears earplugs full time at the show, which is smart. So his voice level was normal, but I couldn't hear a fucking thing he was saying, like at all. I was like this, and I kept pointing to my ear. He did not speak louder. So, but for me, so anyways, my microphone set, I can get like in-ear monitors. I might wear them next time. I don't know. Anyways, when I'm in my basement studio, there is quite a bit of echo here, but I have a pretty good microphone that you don't hear any of that. But anyways, I'm gonna play some pinball also.
Welcome home, John.
Welcome home.
The Continental appreciates your accuracy. Safe driving, my friend. You're a lucky man.
Lock is lit.
Oh, I see you've met the Bowery King. Quite the character, but not one to be underestimated. This marker may ultimately be your downfall. Play wisely, my friend.
But a lot of the time talking about getting sick at the convention, I don't think it's always like the convention to blame. I think a lot of it is airports. Because airports are like a petri dish of international viruses. So like, When I was waiting for my flight, one of my flights yesterday, there's this family and they all had like bright red noses. They were sick as fuck, like so sick, and coughing and sneezing everywhere. But obviously they booked their flight and they're taking it. And, you know, people are now anti-maskers and all this. Like, I know I'm not really wearing a mask most likely, but like that family should have all been wearing a fucking mask. Because like anyone sitting near them has whatever virus they have. So. So you'll be fine, Mason Joe. You'll be fine. And I think so, Dr. Imagineer, the thing it is about the airport is that influenza virus from,
just another ball?
You know, Canada or no, like Asia or Europe, like those different flus will hit us way harder. That's the difference. But last year at Expo, I got pneumonia, which means I got some sort of bacterial pneumonia from the convention or the airport. It was shit. I was sick for a month. The other thing too, like I said, because so at the conventions, you're talking so much so your voice gets raw and inflamed and like literally bleeds in there. So if a virus gets in there, like forget about it. You're done. It goes right into your blood.
Well played.
Yeah, like the yelling and your voice cords are just shredded. So like if any bacteria gets in there, like it's infecting you. Oh yeah, the green dude from the Mucinex ads. Yeah, it's true. It is actually true.
I am impressed.
Ball one lost.
The Continental appreciates your accuracy.
Man, when that center ramp rejects, like, it's a good chance it's going in the drain. I'm just realizing I had multi-stream chat turned off, so I wasn't seeing the chat from YouTube. Sorry, guys.
Your aim was impeccable, Jonathan.
Ball faked.
If you ever need the services of a concierge, Akira can help you. The Marquis de Gramont will not hesitate to stab you in the back.
I know, right?
Extra ball is lit. I'd say the odds are about even.
I remember when they added that sound, like in one of the code updates. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's so bad. And there's actually a setting in the menu to turn that specific sound down. Like they must have, like the phone ringing sound, but.
I didn't want to do this.
Good to have you back.
Like I need to play John Wick for an hour before I start hitting anything properly. To get it to like all come back to me. And it's all coming back to me. I wish with John Wick that those ranks kind of like did something. I'm pretty sure they're just for clout though.
Nice trick.
What's up? The Spinner is Lit podcast. Welcome to the stream. This is the thing. I also think John Wick Pinball is a dope game for sure.
John,
And
you're
like
incredible.
it has reset like how much stock I put in the hot takes we get early about pinball games. And it's also caused me to like want to also be careful not to do that myself. And I appreciate that. Spinner's Lit podcast says they love my work. I appreciate that. We were talking a little bit earlier about how like the pinball echo chamber of creators and that the podcasters, the streamers and stuff, that sometimes like their perspectives can be a little bit sometimes self-serving to get views or clicks. But we're talking about my daughter's perspective on Galactic Tank Force. So she's 12. She plays a little bit of pinball, but she freaking loves GTF. And so it's sometimes good to like reset and realize, hey, you know, there's some pinball players out there other than the tournament players, other than the home collector whales, other than the live streamers, other than the, you know, arcade casuals. There's like, you know, the kids who play pinball, the, you know, the grandmas and grandpas. And of those like 5 or 6 specific buckets of pinball people, none of them are more important than the other. And I think it's good with games like Pokemon recently being released. It's showing that the companies like Stern and maybe others are going to hit the reset button and try to focus on content, like product content that appeals to not just the tournament player, not just the home collector whale, not just the arcade casual, not just the live streamers and podcasters. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I like, my personal opinion of GTF is from a very unique vantage point. Like, I'm a live streamer kind of first and foremost in my pinball journey. So I like that it gets lots of viewers, and the chat's always funny. We laugh at the call outs. But I couldn't imagine playing it in a pinball tournament. I'm like a very light pinball tournament player. I don't play a lot, maybe 2 or 3 a month. But for that perspective, I don't think I'd want to play it in a tournament. But that's just me, just my opinion. But yeah, Slinger, yeah, like GTF being goofy and fun. I like that it's cheesy too.
Welcome to the Continental.
Some
How
cheese,
may I help you?
some cheese added, right? And the other thing, like, I find a game like John Wick, however, to be kind of good for a tournament because, yes, it is a fan layout, but it can be frustratingly tight. So that's a little bit of an equalizer in a tournament, but... we were talking about Galactic Tank Force by American Pinball. And sorry, I should have known. I usually try to be self-aware when I say stuff. But yeah, say stuff about, for maybe people don't know the acronyms or so my apologies. But yeah, Galactic Tank Force is my daughter's, like, probably one of her favorite games. So. And for those of you that maybe weren't here, this was earlier in the stream. Last night at bedtime, my daughter says to me, "Are we going to get rid of Galactic Tank Force?" Like, I'm like, I don't know where she heard it. Maybe she watched some of my content or something. She's 12. And then she proceeded to say, "Well, Daddy, I'll buy it." And then I was like, oh, my heartstrings. But anyways, I don't think we're going to buy it, but you know, if it was a good enough deal or some sort of horse trading, you never know. It is about saving ice cream. And I told her too, I'm like, well, can I move it? So our house is like basically a big square, and like half of it used to be a basement suite, and now it's the games room. And I'm like, can I move it over onto your side to free up some room? Because the other side of the house is like, she has like her craft room, tables, and it's a basement. I mean, finished basement. Anyways.
Oh, I love dogs.
I know, I busted chops. I might do that. You know, I might ask if maybe, you know, AP could give them, American Pinball could give them some sort of incentive. Elraiser, when I'm talking about games I would possibly get rid of, Dungeons and Dragons can sometimes be on the bubble, be on the chopping block every once in a while, because 50% of the time, Dungeons and Dragons is a frustrating game for me to play. 50% of the time, I love it and I have the best games of my life. So it's a challenging one. It's just like a little bit inconsistent fun level for me from my point of view. But like I said, every once in a while I'll go back to it and I'll have the best games of my life. I'm like, no, this is bolted to the floor. And a lot of people are the same way. They like love D&D. Yeah, and Busted Chops, you've been in a lot of the D&D streams. Like, lots of people come to watch it, especially because their code, they keep updating it. The one thing they need to do, and I don't need to, I feel like a douchebag saying they need to fulfill the promise. When Dungeons and Dragons was being launched, the promise was it will have a deep story. It'll have deep achievements, travel, stuff you can do. I think we all kind of thought we were going to get more than 6 or 8 characters, and we would keep getting characters, and the story would grow in each place. That is still yet to come. We were able to earn 2 new characters. But I feel like, where's the limit? Why can we not have 20 characters? Or I don't know. So with Dungeons and Dragons was really a test for them I do like how it was implemented. I am equally frustrated by the one shot that's very complicated to get to, but you know what? Once you get it, you get it. I don't know. I'm not complaining about D&D, and I have a Dungeons and Dragons Premium. And my only complaint about Dungeons and Dragons, it had some frustrating technical issues when it came out. Both of the vertical up kickers, the one on the left at Fismo and the one at the back that throws the ball up to return it to you, both of them had some geometry issues that you had to correct with a bit of finesse. I'm very technical and I'm not afraid of tools, so it only took me about an hour. But I feel for the home user that they don't know how to use vice grips in a way that's, you know what I mean? I feel like there was a bit of, but that's what happens when you order the game right when it comes out. So many of you have been in pinball longer than me. You're like, yeah, no shit. But when you get a game at launch, here's Pokemon's being advertised right now. Like that game it looks great. The code is pretty good for an early release. That's what you get with Stern. But it had one major flaw with its one of its orbits, and they had to like immediately release a technical bug fix. They released basically a diverter or some way to, because one of the things when you orbit, it would drain every time. So that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to get on the wait list for the next Stern. I want to get on the wait list for the next barrels. Yeah, but like get ready, folks. Because the first release of some of those games, I won't point out, I don't like to point fingers and like throw shade, but some of those games when they came out in the last couple of years were shit because they had minor technical issues. They don't always talk about what was corrected in those first couple months, but I played some of the very early versions of some of those games that came out last year, and they were horrible with airball action, completely vacant code, but airball action, shots that were, you know, clearly bad geometry. And I'm not naming any single manufacturer, by the way, but that's what the public buyer like myself or arcade owners, that's what you get when you get those first machines. So you need to know that you need to expect there's going to be a bit of tweaking involved, and operators are used to that. I'm not an operator. Operators are used to the gamble. Okay, I want the new game. I want the hype. I want it in my arcade. You know what? If the orbit doesn't orbit, I know how to fix it. I know how to bend a ball guide. It's those home collectors, the whales that have every Jersey Jack or every Stern when it comes out, but they don't own a Dremel. They don't own a set of sockets. It's those users that I feel for. And I think Stern was listening, and now they're going back to that model where the pros come out first, the operators get to be the test subjects, and I think they're fine with that. Oh yeah, Dragon God 8 says, both of the Pokemons they played on location have an issue where the ball is leaving the out lane. It's incredibly frustrating. Oh, okay. Yeah, do you hope that, yeah, it's best. I hope the arcade owners report that too, but Teasel Dan says that's why the games they buy have had at least 10,000 games on them before they bought it. You know what? My friend who I was with, I spent basically the whole week with him, Dustin Echoes in Texas. He's like, these machines are commercially designed. Don't be afraid to buy a game with, 2,000, 4,000 games on it. Like, they're designed for it. It's not like, I want to keep the kilometers low or the miles low on my machine. I don't want it to lose its value. That is one factor, but, and he's kind of changing my perspective on buying used games. So anyways, and Doc Imagineer has experienced the Pokemon Turbo Drain. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Stern had expected people to drill a hole and readjust something. Well, there is a lot of, So I've talked before on my live stream. I work in manufacturing. I work in quality assurance and quality control. There's always human error, but there's also they need to have like validated checkpoints. They need to check the right things that are known to fail. So for me in pinball, that would be ball guides. That would mean are the ramps placed? So they should have like a template they put on and be like, all right, everything lines up. Because nearly all of my new inbox pinball machines have had an issue where a ball guide is slightly out of whack, and then it causes some unintended feature. So Metallica had it, Dungeons had it, John Wick had it, King Kong had it, Star Wars absolutely had it. So that would be one opportunity I would say that even the big guys like Stern could improve, possibly putting resources into making sure those quality checkpoints have some value, like how they're looking at the right things. Even right now, like I'm looking at, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this spot right here. So we've got that stand-up target. Well, the metal ball guide on the one side, you shouldn't be able to hit the hard edge of metal. So that stand-up target should be a little more moved over, but also that ball guide should be a little bit pinched together. Those are the type of tweaks. And there's this classic one in this game where the stand-up target is able to move and really impede the ball return path. So those little things, like, they don't bother me. Before I played this game, I straighten out the stand-up target. Same there. That stand-up target's a little bit in the ball path. Those are like opportunities that I would say some additional checkpoints could be implemented. Those are, again, I talk about opportunities for improvement. That's how the business world talks about things that have to be fixed because they suck. So I think it's an opportunity to create stand-up targets that don't move around. That would be, because a lot of us get those. I haven't bought any yet, but the shim things that go around them. Anyways. And yeah, Tizzle Dan. So the holes are drilled on a jig, but no, sorry, actually, no, the holes are not drilled by a jig. They're pressed, the markers, like the pilot holes, are pressed in with a jig, but it is a person drilling the holes. I'm 99% sure. And when it's done, there's always the opportunity for the angle to be off. I'm 90% sure that the holes are drilled by hand. The pilot holes are made on the press, so they know where to get them. But if you've ever drilled through a piece of wood and you're trying to go this way, but your drill bit's off, it can come and, you know, not go, you know. Anyways, a bit of speculation here because I don't remember specifically, but And Slinger, I think you're right talking about that when they press in the template for that screw, they use a press and they press a bunch of little needles in and then they're drilled later, I'm pretty sure by hand. And so if the pin was off a bit or when the guys or person is drilling, it could be off a bit. But because they had the same issue with so many machines, I believe it could be the hole in the press that could have been in the template that could have been off, but
I'm just asking you to try.
And so one thing I really like that Jersey Jack did when they released Harry Potter, they pushed about 20 or 30 games out to distributors as display copies. And the display copies were on location immediately, if not early. And so they harvested feedback through that little sample set, like a focus group. And then the machines that buyer number one bought were corrected. And I know that was how they did it. And I know that's a good procedure. Is it practical for every manufacturer? I don't know. I don't know.
Pinball machine status. Deconsecrated.
Document Engineer, I agree. Document Engineer says, I don't mean to put my lawyer hat on, but if it's a known defect that affects the core basic play, then it's on the manufacturer's legal responsibility to correct it. I absolutely agree. So it would be, in my experience, Stern has been excellent in correcting things. They'll send out the parts pretty quickly, but what I kind of do, okay, here's an example. My Star Wars reject, they sent out the parts, but I still have to dedicate, 2 hours of my time and frustration to fixing it. So if anything, it would be nice if the distributors actually had someone to come and fix it, but I don't think that's something that is normal. Maybe it is, but no one offered that to me.
You don't see that often.
Yeah, and Dan, I think what we're used to is them releasing a reasonable fix, but I mean, what is reasonable? Maybe some people are getting their Star Wars fixed by a technician. I didn't get that, but I do note, in order to become a distributor of games such as Stern, you do need to have a workshop and a technician network. I know that's an obligation. In order to distribute Stern games, you can't just be a influencer in their basement. You have to really commit to the whole project.
Can issue a market if you need help, yet you'll be bound by an obligation.
Lock is lit.
I realize now I've been talking more than playing today, but I just really enjoyed chatting with you guys. I'll be honest. But I'll save.
2 rules that cannot be broken, Jonathan. No blood on continental ground, and every marker must be honored. That's why I'm not the one telling you that a certain extra ball is lit.
Now, I don't always aim for the extra ball, but I did there because I've regretted not doing it recently. There's so many multi-balls here that the ball always finds its way in. I know I always mention that, but it's one of my only consistent pin tips with John Wick Pinball. Awesome Irish look, I love it.
Shoot again.
What game are you guys talking about, Silver Iron? Pokemon? Oh, women's nats. Okay.
Your aim was impeccable, Jonathan.
Well, Hellraiser, why when you could pay even more than 8K and drill the same hole?
There will always be work for you here at the Continental.
So Hellraiser, talking about like some hobbies, if you're expected to do that, it's no big deal. Like in RC car racing, like we drill holes in everything. We drill holes, like drill holes, ream holes out. We modify parts, but that's a different thing. Like you're used to repairs, rebuilds, upgrades. But in pinball, yeah, it's so like a nice thing. It's like, get out the drill.
I am impressed.
And it's a great question, Silverian. So like, what about, so Uncanny X-Men had a few of those issues where, you know, how the ball wouldn't launch because it didn't have a big enough spring. It didn't launch properly. I think those type of things need to get fixed.
A concierge with his eye on the ball can be a valuable asset.
Or if like 80% of the time a feature rejects the ball, like the Star Wars Death Star, I would say they're obligated to fix that. But maybe a stand-up target that goes a bit goofy. I don't know. People should know how to move those, maybe. Well, the Hellraiser, another thing too, like not everyone is a handyman, or some people might be a handyman, but not want to be a handyman on something like a beautiful pinball machine. A friend of mine, he has like 6 machines. He's never gone in the code menu. Like never, ever gone in the code menu. And he got some machines that had been set up like very, very hard. He's like, man, every time I drain, I've never seen the extra ball. I'm like, you know, you can turn that on, right? He's like, where? He's like, is it a dip switch or something? I'm like, no, in the menu. So, but. Yeah, like Dan, like you'll be making those repairs like in a pit stop. Like I've drilled a hole during a pit stop in a nitro main and reattached a shock tower because I broke the corner off it. Yeah, those things are definitely expected in RC racing, but yeah, and something like this, I also would be very, very worried about drilling a hole in a playfield. But what's up, Val Flume? Welcome to the show. Also, nice to have you. So yeah, Dragon. So I'm really talked about. So Dragon says, I got their first machine a year ago and Jaws Premium about 2 weeks after you got it. The Spike node board was failing. Yeah. So I've also experienced technical issues with node boards when I added a topper, for example. So I bought the topper, I bought the machine. When I put them together, they both stopped communicating properly, like whatever, however you want to look at it. But what I really like to measure is how fast does the manufacturer provide a response, and was the response helpful? And I gotta say, I have had excellent dealings with Stern when I give them a problem, very clear, tell them my situation and my technical ability to fix it and willingness to fix it too. I bet you people just go to Stern too and they're like, my machine doesn't work. I want a new one. This is bullshit. It's like, just get to the point. I have an issue with my node board. It's giving an error. What do I do? And they should give you an answer, right? And if not, if they can't do it, I mean, the distributor should step in at that point and provide their local person to come and fix it. And someone should pay for it that's maybe not the home user or the end user. I have also heard of known issues where there can be like bad solder on an opto, and it'll cause like that whole network of optos. Another company was having that issue near their sandworm feature, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so Slinger, I had that exact issue. So the topper, this is on my Metallica. So the topper, the expression lighting, and the speaker lighting, there was some sort of network conflict with the node boards, and it had to do with like the order at which I installed them. So I had to basically go in and move a dip switch and like unplug something and plug it back in, and like it worked. But Stern had to feed me that exact answer, and the answer I got was, like I said, excellent. It had pictures, and then they followed up. So in my experience, I've had a good experience dealing with Stern support. So I think it's worth mentioning that. If there's good things to say, I try to say the good things. But you know what I mean? Dip switch. A lot of people are like, what the fuck is a dip switch? A dip switch is a thing that is on that green circuit board in electronics and electric stuff. And it's basically like a little controller. And if you move one of them, it does one thing. They're usually in a little lineup, but yeah. Yeah, it was something like that. Like one of them updated and it conflicted with another one, but then it bricked itself. So anyways.
I'd say the odds are about even.
Looking at the clock, I'm going to try to have a good game here. I will be back on stream later today. My John Wick, King Kong, and Star Wars all got updated. So this last week. So
This marker might save you, but its consequences.
oh no, that's outside. Oh, wow. That must have been just outside the sympathy ball timer.
Impressed. We have some work that needs to be taken care of here in New York.
Oh. Remember when I said I want to have one more good game? I don't know if I'm going to be able to fulfill that promise. I do have to go to work. I'm about a week behind. I'm going to be super efficient at work today. Gotta quickly change something here on my screens. Sorry, folks. One second. Please hold for that number.
TSIL_Dan
up?
is our newest follower.
Thanks,
Welcome
Dan.
to the
I
grown-up
appreciate it.
adjacent community. TSIL_Dan.
This is the lowest scoring ball 3 ever in all of history, so I'm going to just end on that
The
note after
Continental
this.
appreciates your accuracy.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll play a couple more, but
Helicopter's right down there. Come on, let's go.
while I'm playing this game, if you guys don't follow over on YouTube, please give me a follow over there or sub over there. Go and check it out. I have a bunch of my interviews and show content and live streaming there as well. But extra volley.
No one gets out of Quebec without repercussions.
You want a war or just another ball?
Goodness. Come on, just open it. I'm trying to open my dashboards properly here. Keeps logging in as the wrong thing.
Your aim was impeccable, Jonathan. Saved by the ball, I see.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Well, I'm gonna head to work because I am a week behind at work. But I wanted to say, everybody, thank you for coming to the stream today. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be back on my soil here, and look forward to live streaming back on schedule. Also, I can't emphasize enough, check out my interviews. I have about 10 more to release over the next week on YouTube. They're all scheduled. About half of them are scheduled. Some of them I've already done. We talked to Chris Turner at Turner Pinball about Yukon Yeti, Rob Rath at American Pinball about American pinball stuff. We talked to Bug at Spooky about their success of Beetlejuice. I talked to Pin Sound. I talked to Precision Flippers. I talked to Multimorphic. I talked to Scorebit. I talked to at least a dozen others. But anyways, catch those exclusively on the Grown Up Adjacent YouTube channel. I may be publishing them to Twitch as well, but anyways, yeah, have a good day. Happy Friday to everybody. You guys are a huge positive part of my life, and I just want to thank you for the contributions that I get out of being in the chat with you guys. And I do look forward to streaming this weekend. I will be doing some new stuff on the channel too, so stay tuned. Look forward to taking you on that journey. So some stuff's in the oven. We'll talk more about that. And yeah, happy Friday. And I'm just gonna raid over to MN Retro Gamer, because Andrew's a good dude, and happy to support him. Trying to get him on the Pinball Live Network. You should ask him when he's getting on the Pinball Live Network.
I'm planning on beating this today, but there is a soft lock problem where if you do not get the first shot in both part 1 and part 2 of the final wizard mode, when you come across Xanathar, I'll show you here when I get to it. If you don't get it, you are soft locked out and you cannot beat it. Wow, we got a bunch of, we got Jay Biscuity, we got Johnny Buttons, we got L Razor. 666, that's a great name. What is up? So we're on the final wizard mode. I don't know if Aaron, have you gotten to this part yet or not, but there is a soft lock problem in the game. I'm gonna do my best to